What time is it? It's tea time. Hey, thanks for my first ever 15 minutes of tea with me show. How's everybody doing today? Take a minute and go grab your cup of tea or Joe, whatever it is that you like to have with a break. Kick back and enjoy a little chat with me. Hope that everybody's doing okay, as always. Of course, always. I have to tell you a story. I had actually made an entire video and it was the most nicest video for this show. Guess what? Somehow magically in the editing process, something got swallowed up and it just went kablooey and it's gone. I'm like, what happened here? But this is the pitfalls when you work with certain things and certain software. It comes with the package, but that's totally okay. Now I really need an extra cup of tea. Hope that this video finds you well. Of course, let me grab some. Tea is so soothing. How's the weather by you? Are you feeling the fall yet? It has been so hard for me to believe that some people are actually still experiencing hot weather, like a lot of hot weather. But then again, I guess it depends on where they're living, right? Oh my goodness gracious. So on the original video that should have gone out, but I'm not going to miss the points that I made, so we'll just go over it again. I spoke about my Lily Munster. What is my Lily Munster? For anybody that's new, the veterans know this. My hair, of course, is graying. I mean, I am almost 62. It comes with the turf. And if I pick up my hair, I have a matching. I don't like to look at it that way yet. And I am grappling with the decision that I made. I made a conscientious decision to learn how to live with the growing out of my gray hair. Is anybody out there going through this, like this transition thing? Like, you don't want to be like attached to constantly coloring your hair. Not to mention there have been medical reports that it's not the healthiest thing to do frequently. So I made a decision a few months back to stop. So I stopped coloring my hair in April. It is now October 5th. I mean, it could have been worse, I guess, It's just the idea of adaptation. But I did make the decision to stop coloring my hair. Not because of expense or inconvenience, but just because it's like, it's time of acceptance. If I'm going to be 62 and Mother Nature decides that we should have gray hair, I'm just going to work with it. Heck, I hear of young people that on purpose want to get this kind of coloring. Don't ask me why, but it was a trendy thing. I don't know if it's still a trend, but I never was a slave to trends anyway. This is my natural trend, my natural Lily Munster. Well, enough of that. Hope that everybody is doing well. This has been the year of years. I call this year the year that wasn't, okay? Rumor has it that we're going to have a virtual Thanksgiving Day parade. The Macy's parade that people look forward to all the time. I used to go to it every year when I was a child, even as a teenager on occasion, and even older than that. It's just, part of, a New York person's life. So it should be very interesting, not to mention challenging for the people that are trying to put this thing together due to this year that I call the year that wasn't. How many changes have gone on in your local area? I mean, are there events that have been canceled, or is it business as usual? It's been far from business as usual in the New York area for anybody that's interested. We're starting to come back, and now talks are rolling things back in 9 zip code zones. It's a mess. And my heart goes out for any parent with young children. And for those of you who don't know, I am a former elementary school teacher. I taught in a Christian school for 7 years, some of the best years of my life. It happened to be the same school that I attended as a child. Talk about awkward. I was like, welcome back, Kotter. Let me explain what I mean by that. When you teach in the school that you went to as a child, and I was in my late 20s, some of the actual teachers that were my teachers when I was a kid was still there. And I worked for the same principal that was my principal. So she knew me my whole life. And wonderful woman, God rest her soul. And some of the teachers have now, of course, passed on. But at that time, when I re-entered working for that school, it was really awkward. People that I used to call Miss this and Miss that or whatever, I had to start learning how to call them by first name. Because when I first started there, I was still calling them Miss So-and-so. And they were like, no, Janet, you can now call me by my first name. It's okay. That was really weird. But I just want to offer a tip to the parents of kids today. The kids today really undergoing a lot of challenges as much as the parents are. 1 minute remote learning, 1 minute in classroom learning. But here's a tip coming from a former teacher. Whatever you do, try to remain consistent at it. And excuse the construction noise outside. This is, after all, New York. There's always noise. Forgive me, I can't help it. But, and yes, of course, the bird clock is going off. And for those that are new, you'll hear me say this practically every show. Don't just... I keep the bird clock because my mom loved it. And hi, Mom! But anyway, remain consistent in your routine because kids actually love routine. They're maybe too young to know that they do, but they actually do. And the older ones say, no, I don't, blah, blah, blah. That is so not true. In fact and in truth, kids, even younger ones, even older ones, actually appreciate routine and they appreciate the guidance, okay, from their parents or guardian. So having kids be completely autonomous is actually not age appropriate. They need adult guidance. And I have a special message for any New York person that is in leadership. This is from a former teacher. Teachers are not babysitters. We are teachers. We are not babysitters. And parents are the first teachers. Okay? Just saying, just saying. I resent it when I see in the news that, oh, we have to keep the schools open because the parents need to go to work. Excuse me? I didn't think that that was the purpose of kids going to school. Is it to watch your kids or is it to teach your kids? If I wanted to be a babysitter, and there's nothing absolutely wrong with child caregivers, I used to do that in my spare time. I'd go for that too. But that's not the job. A teacher is a special person that takes the time to get educated and hone their craft on purpose to help and to share and to teach. We are not glorified babysitters, and I'm sorry for the rest of the viewers, but I just had to get that word out there for, I'm sure that New York teachers out there agree with me. We're not child care providers. We're not babysitters. Correct? Okay. I had to get that off my chest. I mean, you're not going to see that, let's say, on a Money Monday show. You're not going to hear me say these things on a Practical Tuesday show. And that's the reason I decided to create the 15 Minutes of Tea with Me show. Now, having said that, I feel so much better. Now I need some more tea. You need another sip? Go grab it. Let's talk about time management. I put the timer on because I realized that your time is just as valuable as my time. There seems to be a problem in society, not with myself and hopefully not with you, I'm assuming not, but there are some people that you might have come across who happen to think that their time is much more valuable than your time. I have a problem with that. We were all given the same amount of hours. We were all given the same amount of days, and it all came from the same place. So there's no difference. You are not more important than me. I am not more important than you. Everybody's time is valuable. I'll give you a little story. About 10 years ago, there was this great discount store that my mother and I used to love to frequent in the neighborhood. And it was the holiday season. And, my mom was getting on in years, and she's standing there with her cane, and we, waiting patiently on the line, and no problems. And this person just darted in front of everyone saying that their thing is very important and their time was more important. I was like, what? I mean, that person like seriously needs like an attitude check. I mean, so I was bold enough. I said, excuse me, but we were here before you, and your time is not more important than the rest of us. Everyone's time is valuable. And I said to the cashier, I said, if you are a responsible cashier, you know that we were standing here, and my poor senior citizen mother standing there with a cane all this time didn't say a word. So I spoke up. Well, that was it. Of course, we got the rightful place, and that person was steaming. I said, Mom, come on, let's get out of here. That lady, she could have been crazy. No, it's just not right. It's just not right. So I believe that your time is just as valuable as my time, which is one of the reasons you'll always hear me say at the end of many videos, thank you so much for your time, because I really, really do appreciate it. And it's true. I'm not saying it to rattle it off. I really feel that way. Now let's talk about your workday. Do you work from home? Are you working at a physically outside place? People that work from home do definitely have more flexibility, and actually, you really do save a lot of time. You're not spending hours on end commuting. It saves money. Hopefully, you're reducing costs of childcare and, of course, transportation. These are very important things to factor in when you make a decision to work from home. Okay. However, some people can't seem to manage their time or focus on their job unless they are working outside at home. There's nothing wrong with that, because we need outside workers. The whole world can't work from home, obviously, right? But, excuse me, just take another sip. Okay, so for those people that can't focus and need to work outside, whatever. But one thing, like I said before, we all have 24 hours, and we need to really manage our time. And I can't even believe it. I'm getting the signal that the timer is about to go off in 1 minute, okay? So anyway, making a long story short, I wanted to make sure that this video is kept, under 15 minutes, because I respect everyone's time. But I look forward to coming back again next Monday at about 2 o'clock. Share this video with friends, or let them know that this lady from New York, Jan, from New York City Saves Money, likes to have a cup of tea with her people every week. And make sure, here's the biggest message of today, no matter how much time you give everyone else, you can't be the most optimum self unless you take a little bit of me time out for you. It could be the cup of tea. It could be taking a walk. It could be stretching and exercising. It could be even just listening to music. And there it goes. Thanks so much for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your day and your tea. Have a great day, everybody. See you next Monday at about 2 o'clock with a cup of tea.